10 a.m. on the dot. This is some professional shit. Welcome back to Rebel Ants Radio. My name is Kevin, joined as always by my heavily intoxicated co-host,
I may be a little bit intoxicated.
co-founder, First Night.
Don't be a hater.
This has been a weird 24 hours for us. Weird 24 hours. We will talk about some of the things that have transpired. And we have 52 friends with us right now. What?
Like your broken toe?
My broken toe. Yeah, we'll talk about the broken toe. We have 52 people with us right now. Please do something for us, like hit like, hit retweet, hit subscribe if you're on the YouTubes. I don't know what it is that people do anymore, but we appreciate that's what we're asking you for, is to show us some social love. We have a big day because we're going to do the final battle for season 1 of Battle for the Colony. We have come full circle, and here we are. We will talk about what happened last night first. We'll talk about something else second, and then we'll hit on some battles. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, bro.
Ayo. Drop us a comment. Let us know where you are joining us from. We got a little hey here. Thank you, Niku. Little hey. So we met in person last night. We met some people that were in town in New York City for NFT NYC.
You said
we.
Like you and I.
Yes, you and I. That's the we.
We met up in person?
Yeah, you and I were together last night. Not like biblically or intimately, but like we were together.
That's not the worst. That's not even worse.
Why is that worse?
Jesus Christ.
We are going to close the portal in probably about 15-20 minutes, so you still have some time to register your ants if you head over to portal.rebelants.io. If you need some ants, the only ants that are battling today, the final battle, are the Samurai and the Shogun. So head over to Magic Eden, filter down to Samurai or Shogun, and purchase some ants. Yes, the Samurai is killing it. They will likely win, and that is likely the gang to be paid out some rewards. So do what you want. This is financial advice. The financial advice is
to go buy some ants.
Register your ants for the Samurai. That's how you will get some money. The rewards will be paid out in Soul, $250 prize pool being paid out in Soul, right out of First Night's wallet. Right out of it.
Right out of my pocket.
Not my wallet. So, First Night, how are you feeling today?
I am, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little hungover. Not going to lie.
I don't even think you're at the hungover part yet.
I think
you're at the still intoxicated part.
I may be a little bit still intoxicated. I may be. I didn't get home till like 4 a.m., bro. 3:30, 4 a.m., something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly.
I got home kind of late also, not as late. I got home around 1 a.m. from the emergency room because yesterday morning I had a little slip and fall accident in my bathroom.
Like an
old man. My toe was hurting, but I said, I got a big day. We're meeting up.
How does somebody slip in the bathroom at this stage and age?
There was water on the floor that I didn't know.
You need to be more aware of your surroundings, bro.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. That's some good life advice.
We are going to give you a retraining.
A retraining?
Being aware of your surroundings. Being aware. I'm fucked up right now. I need some coffee in my life.
My toe was hurting all day, and I said, you know what? I'll just tough it out through the day, heading into New York City to meet up with some wonderful people, and I'll deal with it later. And when I got home at 10:30 at night, and I took my sock off finally, I was horrified by what I saw.
He sent me a picture of it to top it off.
Sent a disgusting picture of it to First Night over here, and he vomited a little bit in his mouth.
It was nasty.
Now, when I went to the ER, I'm signing in, and the nurse practitioner is like, just real fast, let me see your toe so I know what we're working with.
Was she hot?
And it was a he.
Oh, ew.
And he's like, oh, he said, normally I can't tell if something's broken by looking at it. He said, but is broken.
That is broken. The moment you sent me the picture, I was like, oh, shit, bro, that's broken.
He's like, that is broken. So here we are. here
I
we
gotta say,
are.
you trooped it. You walked all around New York City with a broken toe.
And I still walked faster than you somehow. Why is that?
Because I hate walking. I don't like walking. I'm going to tell you.
We know.
I hate walking.
Anyway, we met up with some VIPs, some very important peoples. Who do we meet up with?
How are you going to say we met up with some very important people, and then you're going to ask me who do we met up with? We met with Miss Piggy.
Oh boy. Okay, we met with Chris and Tristan from Use Pools at Use Pools.
No, that was cool. Yeah, we met some.
We had
really
them on the
cool
show a couple weeks ago, so that was really cool to see them. Good conversation. Happy to meet some friends in real life.
I said that you can't hear me.
I can hear you.
No, I feel like you need headphones because every time I talk, you just keep talking.
No, you're like slurring your words.
Is that what's happening?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a playback. Where is Casey Montero? I know he's.
And then we met up with Vicky Licious.
We did.
That was her hubby.
Really cool.
That was great. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And then
that was very cool.
And then where'd we go?
We went drinking.
We went to the Rum House for the Genuine Undead meetup. There was probably about 10, 12 people there.
Yeah, that was cool too. Great. There was a lot of people there too.
Yeah, we got to meet some familiar names, put some faces to the names. We got to meet Mason. All very, very fun. Had a good time there. Yeah. So I'm glad we made it. Now, I also want to bring this full circle for a moment. Okay, I want you to.
Some NFT creeps.
Yes.
Yesterday. He was cool too. Yeah. Shout out to him.
I want to bring this full circle for you first, Mike, because you may recall that when we were at NFT NYC 2024, we launched Battle for the Colony.
We did what?
We launched it in the facilities. We hit the go live button. Now, here we are, 2025 NFT NYC week, and here we are closing out season 1. It's like this is really self-actualized. Full circle.
Did you think that we would be at this point at any point during our 2.5 years of working on this? Maybe 3 years. We're this now.
I would have hoped that at some point we got here, and here we are. It'll be nice when we can do even more.
But did you think that we would be successful at what we do?
Are we successful at what we do?
I feel like we are. Yeah. You don't feel like we are? You're always so negative about shit.
Yeah.
You gotta stop that shit.
I feel like we have more potential.
I want to go to the screen and just smack you. You have, that smackable face right now.
We have more potential than what we've achieved, for better or worse.
I know you heard what I said.
I also want to thank you for posting on X that I had a broken toe, because as my employer, you have now violated my HIPAA rights. And so I will be filing charges against you.
I have no crypto. I don't own anything.
Well, I hope you have good insurance. I hope you have good insurance.
Nope.
All right. Drop a comment. Say hi. Say GA, GN, GM, wherever you're joining from. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good night.
All right. Got it.
Truman Show.
I got it.
All right. Listen, you had some very strong feelings about NFT NYC this year. So before we hop into,
you want to talk about it?
Floor prices and projects, I thought we should just kind of recap.
You want to talk about it?
Your sentiments.
Hold on. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
I feel like you don't hear me.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to talk? Do you want me to talk about it? Do you want me to talk about it?
So
hold on.
You made a post.
I got to take a deep breath.
Okay. While you're taking a deep breath, let me read this post, and then you can talk about it. I've been to NFT NYC the last 3 years. Last year, I even dropped $10,000 into it. The original agreement was supposed to be $5,000.
Nice.
Certain deliverables were promised. Exposure, placement, visibility, but guess what? We never got them. And instead of getting clarity or a solution, I had to pay for it.
Saying good morning to people.
I shelled out an additional $5,000, but truthfully, none of it was worth it. There was zero return, not financially, not relationally. That's not a word. Not even in terms of long-term visibility. So why are you so angry at NFT NYC? Do you think this is representative of all NFT conferences and gatherings, or is this specific to NFT NYC?
I'm not sure because I've never been to any other NFT conferences besides NFT NYC. I just feel that NFT NYC caters to NFT NYC. Does that make sense?
100%.
Even when we were there, we were promised all these things and it never happened. And we got really angry about, like, all we needed was something where we could podcast. Well, actually, let's start from the beginning because people need to know what happened.
The people need to know.
Right? No, I'm going to say it on air. I don't care. We had a conversation with NFT NYC early on, right? Before committing. NFT NYC even fucking took place, right? We spoke to the guy who's supposed to be like second in charge, or third, maybe second. I don't know. I don't remember. And we propositioned having like a podcast section where, you know, artists and creators, basically what NFT NYC lacks, which is the showcasing of the artist and the creator in the space, right? Or whoever's doing whatever in the space, but in a more like the small little guys, right? The guys who make NFT NYC, basically.
Yes.
And we had a good conversation the first time around, and you know, we propositioned having like a platform where we could podcast everybody, and it was going to be like this big thing that we're going to build like this huge thing for us on the second floor. Remember?
Yep. He said you can have a space on the second floor. You can have a
space. We're going to build this platform for you guys. It's not even going to cost you guys anything. We're going to do it for you guys. Blah 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 blah. Right? And then like we get there. Actually, as time goes by and we kept having these conversations, it kept getting like smaller and smaller, right? So we were like, whatever, it's fine, right? But then we requested some stuff that we needed to do the podcast because they still allowed us to podcast in the middle of NFT NYC on the first floor now, since we got moved. And then we're at NFT NYC, and when we get there, it's like this little booth with like practically nothing, right?
Literally nothing.
And when we finally got a hold of somebody to say, hey, like, this is not what we requested, what happened, they were like, oh, we couldn't do that. It was going to be more money, blah, 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 blah. Right. And then we ended up like getting really pissed off, basically. And I got mad to the point that I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I just need another fucking 2 chairs and a table. And they charged us almost $5,000 for it. Or $5,000. I don't remember the exact number.
Yeah.
For a fucking table and 2 chairs. That was the size of like fucking, I don't remember. It was fucking small. And we got through it and we did it, right? And the funny part is that by the end of NFT NYC last year, 2024, everybody was coming to us for an interview. And like there was people coming downstairs saying like, oh, hey, we've heard about you guys doing interviews. They're really good. We want you guys to interview us, right? Like we met a bunch of really cool people. Like we met Tom there. We met just a bunch of really good people. And, you know, I'm grateful for that. But at the end of the day, like NFT NYC, fuck you, because you cater to your fucking self. That's what you do. You get all this people to pay all this grandeur money that people don't really have for this huge event that it's I don't even know what the fuck the event is, honestly. Like we were there and I don't remember anything about it besides us interviewing.
There was very little value. There was
no value to it. There was nothing. It was terrible. Same thing I heard about this year. It was the same shit over and over again.
Yes. So if anyone's watching and if anyone attended NFT NYC this year, drop a comment. Let us know what your, high level thoughts were. But yes, the people that we met up with last night, I heard the word lame. I heard the word boring. I heard the word like empty, that there wasn't much going on.
The biggest thing about NFT NYC, the cool thing about NFT NYC, the only positive thing about NFT NYC are those side parties.
Yep.
Right? Not even parties. They're like meetups or whatever, because you get to chill with the community. You get to meet people in real life. Like it's that part of NFT NYC I do enjoy, because NFT NYC bring all these peoples into that one location, right? But my point is, like, all these things should be happening at NFT NYC, not outside of NFT NYC, because people are paying to go to NFT NYC to do the exact same thing, to network and do all these things that are not happening at NFT NYC. You might say hello to someone or whatever, but it's not real networking. You know what I mean? Real networking, you know what it entitles. Like, it's not be like, oh, what's up, man? Like, oh, you're Knight. Oh, you're fucking Kevin. Oh, cool. All right, peace. You know what I mean? Like, real networking, sitting down, having a good conversation, talking about your project, learning some shit. You know what I mean? That's a real conversation.
Right. And for better or worse, the events that are happening outside of NFT NYC are, somewhat exclusive. So like you need to hold the project in order to enter. And I get why that's important. But if you could bring a portion of that into the event, then people get some exposure to these communities that they may not otherwise be interested in, or realize how interesting that community is, to say like, oh, those guys look like they're having fun. Like I want to hop into that. Right. If it's happening 7 blocks away at late at night, and you need to prove that you're a holder to get in to even see the community, you're probably not going to get involved. But if you see things happening on site that you've already paid for admission, then you might be a little more interested to go up and talk to them or ask questions, or kind of see how get a sense of the community and the culture. So that's where I think NFT NYC is lacking.
It's just the value of it. Like I feel like there's a lot of speakers, but there's a lot of speakers with like no value at all.
Yeah.
Like very corporate. Does that make sense? Like very fucking lame.
Yeah.
Like fucking no. Talk to me about how the fuck we can solve the problem of fucking scammers. Talk to me about how we can solve issues with whatever, right? Talk to me about a platform that's gonna help like artists understand what NFTs are. Talk to me about like the important stuff, not some fucking game that we don't even know what the fuck it is anymore. Remember that game that I don't even remember the name.
The game that rugged?
The game that they were fucking doing last year, and the year before that, it was like
I think it closed down. I think
it shut down. Yeah, they had 2 years ago when I went. They had like this huge. They had a floor full of like this game thing that we're promoting. I don't even hear about that shit anymore outside of NFT NYC.
Yeah,
I know.
They literally closed. They shut the game down. So
exactly. So my point again is that they fucking suck. They need to do better. And if they want to hire me to fix the shit, then I guess they may. But I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to create my own shit where people can come. And shout out to Elang, shout out to Jilly. They're in the room. Shout out to Luna. Luna's in the room. I want to create a place where sort of like NFT NYC, right? Like a conference, but don't do that. I hate that shit. I want to create a platform where people can come, creators can come and talk about their projects, for the little guys, basically. And if I got to ditch out of my own pocket, then I'm going to ditch out of my own pocket. But I think that's something that I really want to do. I mean, it's been sitting in my mind for a very long time. If people want to come and help me, they can join, because obviously I won't be able to pay all that by myself. I mean, I can, but I won't.
Okay.
But I definitely want to create something where people feel like they're wanted and they're heard, and they leave from there with an understanding of whatever it is that they need. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there should be some takeaway. There should be some benefit and value for somebody.
Takeaway, yeah. I want to come out of NFT NYC knowing that I learned something and that there was some value to me being there. Not that I spent $2,000 on a ticket that all I remember is the sandwich I ate. That was disgusting, right?
Well, don't forget that there's flight and hotel board, I know. For many other people. So that expense is so much bigger than just the ticket.
Now, what I did like about NFT NYC last year, too, is that it's, again, like we had the Robotos meetup, which was a meetup outside of NFT NYC, and that was cool with Pablo Stanley, who is not part anymore of Robotos. And
he's not part of any NFT thing anymore.
He's not part of any of that anymore. But it was cool to be there and see like all the artwork, mingle with the team. Like I still talk to some of the team from there. You know what I mean? Like every time I have an issue with like Bueno, for example, the person I talk to is someone who I met in real life there, which is cool. Because they remember that too. They're like, oh my God, Miguel, it's you from, whatever. Yeah. And they wanted help. Like that's what NFT NYC should be. It should be more for the people, not for fucking my pocket, because I'm money hungry.
I agree. Those people attending are either community members of a project, or they're looking to, launch whatever their efforts are, get some recognition, get some notoriety, or get some education on how to be more successful. And NFT NYC does not cater to the little guys. So that's, to your point, that's where there is an opportunity to say, hey, you people that are into Web3 and you want to get your message out there, you want to grow yourselves, let's find a way to support each other and hopefully rising tides raise all ships.
Especially too with like all the rooms they had at the Javits Center, right?
Yeah.
They could have had a room for like education. They could have had a room for like, hey, this is how you create your art and this is how you put it into an NFT, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
just that part of it. Like, people want to know what it is. Yeah, the sign says NFT outside the building. Great. What is it? Like, I remember being there with you and people outside, some people were asking, what is this? Like, what is an NFT? Like, what is this?
Yep.
You're right there. Like, you should know what it is. Like, they should be explaining the shit out of it. There's no way that we're going to move forward without the proper education and the teachings of what an NFT is.
Yes, we need other ways to retain people who are interested in the space, because every inch of it costs money. So if somebody's willing to shell out the money, they need to feel like it's worth it for themselves, for their money, their time, their resources.
Correct. Yeah. Anyway, that was my rant for the day.
Perfect. Thank you. I guess we will never be invited back to NFT NYC.
I'm not going to go back to NFT NYC, not unless they change their ways. And honestly, like, my real plan is honestly to create something where people are going to be able to do what I want them to do.
Let's do it, baby. RebelCon.
RebelCon. Exactly. Rebel Fest.
RebelCon 2027.
Rebel Fest.
Rebel Fest 2027.
Rebel Fest. Not con.
Rebel Fest. All right, let's take a look at some floor prices just to,
Right, can I go back to being drunk now? You know I don't like being the smart one on air.
I know. You don't do a very good
I don't like that.
Good job at it.
You're supposed to be the smart one on air. Damn.
All right, let's take a look at the Saints of LA sitting pretty at 0.035 ETH. Pretty thin floor, honestly, if you look to even get to 0.05.
Where are we?
We're at 0.035 right now. Pretty thin to get even just to 0.05. We got 4.3% of the supply listed. I think it's still a good entry point here.
Still some definitely a good entry
beautiful point. Pieces of art here. And if we hop over to Chumps, they had some recognition through the Ape Chain event that was held in New York City this week. Some of the artwork was featured there. It looked beautiful. The selection that they had, you look at that and you're like, damn, that is like some good looking art. So shout out to Chumps and the artists there. We are sitting at 5% listed here. Floor price of 46.85, which is up almost 10%. Almost 10%. That is pretty good. We got some people listing as we speak. We're now to 5.02%.
It looks like today's up, right? The percentage is up?
Today is up, yeah. Almost 10% on the floor price. So good shit there, and good things happening with Chumps. If you've seen some of the posts lately from Casey Montero, or aka Casey, he has shared that he's putting out a game, an on-chain game, and there's a benefit in the game.
AKA Lex Luthor.
I don't think that's true. There's a benefit to the fishing game if you hold Chumps, better odds, better prizes. So again, might be worth taking a look at that. That is financial advice. This is more financial advice.
You should see your face every time I do that.
Do I cringe? Is that?
It does cringe. It's beautiful. I love it. That's why I keep doing it.
All right, real fast looking at Jira. We've got a floor price of 0.09, down slightly in the last 24 hours. Only 2.5% listed, which is very impressive for a 10,000 collection. So, this is the time to hold on, maybe double down, maybe buckle up, get ready for a ride, because things are happening all over the place in the PG ecosystem, in the RDAC ecosystem, in the Jira ecosystem. The community seems super riled up. People just working on their projects to further support and get the JiraSan message out there. So I am a proud holder of, I think, 4 at this point, but I've got room to improve.
You definitely got a lot of room to improve.
I got a lot of room to improve. So anyway,
you want to know how many I have?
How many do you have?
Do you really want to know?
I'm asking you, how many do you have?
I have 42 Jiras.
Damn, 42 Jira in the house.
3 wallets.
Between 3 wallets. All right, let's look over at the Rebel Ants Battle for the Colony Collection. 0.008 ETH. 2.26% listed. And I have this filtered down to the two gangs that are fighting today, the Shogun and the Samurai, just to see where those elite traits might be worth some money. Unfortunately for everyone, these are unlisted, these two big boys right here. So the Blue Ranger is a Shogun, and this Red
the Blue Ranger is a Shogun?
Yeah, and the Red Ranger, the Red Samurai here is.
So I don't think the
Red one's the
wasn't
Samurai.
in the battle.
What do you mean? This one won last week. Yeah, Shogun and Samurai today.
I know, but the point Shogun won last week. The point should have been like way higher than what it is.
No, it's 500.
The Blue Ranger in there.
It's 500 points for the Blue Ranger. No, 450 points.
I was gonna say. I thought it was more than that. No.
No.
I don't remember.
The Shogun already has 4,274. So.
Oh yeah, I see. But we're still at 25.32%. I'm Shogun.
Yeah, Shogun still
lose.
Not looking likely, but some other
Samurai
elite too.
It's at like a 75%.
Look, you got the moon suit here, which is a Samurai. So that's an elite trait. That is unlisted. And then you have these two other Blue Ranger suit only, which is a Shogun. And then you got the Red Ranger suit only, which is a Samurai. So some interesting rare traits that
Red Ranger Samurai.
The Red Ranger suit only is Samurai. Yeah,
he's got that Roman helmet on. I love it.
Yes. Before we hop into our final battle of season 1, I want to just revisit the Wolves mints. There was just some interesting exchanges that happened there, and I thought maybe it's worth us talking about.
Sure, what happened? Tell me.
Whew. All right, let's pull up some tweets here. Not this one. Okay, so the Wolves, is the second release from the Brotherhood project.
I do own a lot of Brotherhoods. I own like 10 or 11 of them.
Yeah, they're very, very good looking pieces of art. There was a post from Wolves that said, some stories were always meant to cross. Bored Ape Yacht Club joins the pack. BAYC, MAYC holders now a part of the first come first serve.
Oh yes, I saw that.
And there was some pushback from Aloe here, dev_Aloe, basically saying, calling out BS when I see it. Stay away from Wolves. Overall, not a fan of projects who launch a second collection that not even have anything to show for their first. His point, when you look at the discussions and his additional post, was that this post from Wolves was misleading, that this looked like an actual partnership versus Wolves was just saying, hey, we are giving a benefit to the holders of Bored Ape or Mutant Apes to come first for first come first serve through the mint process. And Aloe just kept saying, look, it was misleading, but also not really recognizing the history of Brotherhood or where the artist and the founder Manta has come from. So, Manta went on a very public response and said a thread on the creation of Brotherhood and Wolves. He said, this has been years in the making, a journey that started with falling in love with NFTs in 2021 and now building my own world within Web3. And it's a very interesting post, just kind of talking about the history and what his vision was, how he got into it, starting even with the Bored Ape Yacht Club first. So, I feel like he got a bad rep from that guy's post, but he, made his response very public to explain his position, and then they also went on to reduce the total supply to 1,500. And if you look at,
what was the original supply?
I think it might have been 2,500. It might have been more, but now they're at 90.8%. So obviously you lower it, the percentage is higher, but they are close to minting out. And I picked up one the other day. I think I'll pick up another couple just because I think this is a good time to get in, and the artwork, like you said, is great. It does seem like Manta is really pushing for this to be successful, especially with the companionship with the Brotherhood. Based on the things that I've been watching and looking at, he does seem like a legit guy. That's, certainly do your own research, but that's my takeaway. And he seems passionate about it enough. He didn't get called out for being a scammer and then go hide away. He's standing up for himself and saying, no, that's not true. I'm here for good intentions. I'm here to provide value, bring storytelling into Web3. and hopefully provide something of value. And when you look at the posts and the replies to the Wolf threads, it's just hundreds of people just replying back saying, yeah, we support Manta, love our brotherhood and love our Wolf. So I will pick up a couple more. Miguel, I would urge you to pick up a few of these too before it's too late, because it's close.
What's the price?
The price is 35 ape, so about $21.
That's not bad. Okay.
No, it's not bad. It is not bad. So anyway, I always appreciate somebody standing up for themselves and not being pushed around. So Manta,
I can understand.
We want to get you on the show.
I can understand what Aloe said, but I also disagree with him on the part that says that if you go back to that post.
Yeah, it's a strong call to say stay away from that. Like, that's a strong call versus asking a question.
It's not even that. People are gonna say whatever they want to say, but there's a part where it says that not to even, I can barely see it, not to even have anything. No, go back. Okay. It's where he talks about like even something not to show for from like the other, I guess, NFT.
Right. Overall, not a fan of projects who launch a second collection that have.
Right. I disagree with that. I completely disagree with that.
Yeah.
Because you can have an unsuccessful launch and then have another successful one. That's technically what happened to us. Right?
Yes. Right. V1, nothing came out of it. And V2 got a lot more traction. Right. We adjusted, we pivoted, we gave some actual utility. We changed the collection size, we changed the art style, we changed the promotion of it. And
we launched another one.
Yeah, we have multiple projects coming.
Yeah, we have 4 actually.
And some of it is for us because it's something that we're passionate about. We hope other people will relate to it and be interested. But this is our creation. This is what we're looking for.
People can launch one project, learn from it, and just move on to a second one. It's fine. You can do that. That's not a big deal. There's no rules to this. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right. You're right. There's no rules to this. And if somebody learns something from the first time, they should be able to take those lessons and put them into play. It's just like what we're doing with season 1. We've learned a lot from season 1. We will make changes going into season 2.
Correct. Lots of changes. Can't wait.
Lots of changes. Anyway, go pick up your Wolves. That is financial advice. And you can sue Rebel Ants LLC if you have any issues. Thank you very
do not sue anybody.
Yes. Anyway, Manta, we want to get you on the show, so we're coming for you. Yeah,
let's get him on the show. Let's have him. I think I have a chat with him somewhere. I'm pretty sure.
Well, can you do something about that, please?
Yeah, I can. I'll try.
All right, are we ready? I didn't even close the portal. Let's close the portal.
Let's close the portal.
So we're at 74.68% for the Samurai. So Samurai is 74.68. Samurai is 74.68. And the Shogun 2532. I don't do public math.
You hate math.
32. Let's go close this battle. Over here. Hold on a second. All right, so let's close the battle.
Yawning on air. I love it.
And should we kick off the battle? Are we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You know how you know it's battle time?
Why? The music comes on. Get all excited. Look at you. Look at
the music coming on.
You're like a little kid in a candy store. You're like a little fat kid in a candy store.
All right, this is the finale for season 1 of Battle for.
Here we go.
If we revisit how we got to where we are today, this was the brackets. You can see Samurai won 3 times. So just a reminder, if you were holding Samurai this whole time, you would have been rewarded 3 instances already, and it's already looking good for round 4, the finals. But AI is crazy. Who knows?
I really thought the Ronin were gonna make it. I was very disappointed with Ronins.
I know, stupid Ronin. Anyway, Shogun have won 2 of their, or both of their battles. They had a bye the first round, and here we are. So, these ants are going to carry you into season 2 as well, in one form or another. So, continuing to stock up on gangs that you don't have, or double down on gangs you do have. That's going to be valuable. It's going to be valuable. Again, This is financial advice. Please file your charges. Attention to Rebel Ants LLC.
I hope you know your name is on there. So if I get sued, you're getting sued with me.
No, I'm protected by the LLC. What do you think that LL stands for, brother? Limited liability. Okay.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
All right. Let's do it.
Break your other toe.
I have broken my golden rule and changed the prompt.
Why?
Because I said, normally it just says results by telling a 4-paragraph story. I've changed it to telling a dramatic, gory 5-paragraph story. Are you okay with that change?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Let's get our cover up ready here. And we're off with the final battle of Season 1, the Battle for the Colony.
Oh, shit. I'm excited. This is going to be a good story.
The clash began at dusk beneath a blood-red sky, where the ground of the Crimson Pass had not yet dried from the last slaughter. The Shogun gang stood fewer in number. Their black cloaked forms hunched like shadows, blades chipped, but eyes ablaze with defiance. Across the battlefield, the samurai arrived in force, gleaming armor polished, banners snapping in the wind, and their daisho gleaming with deadly promise. When the horn cried out, the samurai charged with precision. The first shogun to fall had his head cleaved in half mid-chant.
Holy shit.
Blood spraying like a broken fountain as his body collapsed in spasms at the feet of the advancing tide. Oh, we should have done this the whole time. Let me know when you're ready for the next paragraph. Ready? Okay. But the shogun did not scatter. They snarled like cornered wolves. One of them, a towering brute named Ojiro, drove a hooked blade into the leg of a mounted samurai, yanking the warrior clean off his steed. As the samurai hit the ground, Ojiro sank his dagger repeatedly into his throat, turning screams into a sickening gurgle before rising with blood pouring down his arms like sleeves of vengeance. Damn, Sleeves of Vengeance is baller.
Crazy.
Cue the music. Luna knows. Another shogun leapt from a ridge above and split a samurai's face open from scalp to jaw, the sword catching on bone.
Let's go! Shogun is killing.
Echoed across the gorge, yet for every victory, 3 more samurai closed in, surrounding the shadows with steel and discipline. Fuck yes! Let me know when you're ready. Ready?
I don't like how that ended.
The samurai counterattack was a storm of slaughter. Their formation tightened, moving as one, blades flashing in perfect arcs, slicing through flesh with terrifying ease. A shogun tried to parry, but his arm was hacked off at the shoulder before a second katana pierced his sternum and lifted him off the ground like a nailed effigy. Woo! Blood drenched the soil and the air grew thick with the iron stench of death. A samurai commander screamed a battle cry and ran 2 shogun through with a single thrust, twisting his blade as their bodies convulsed against him. Limbs flew, heads rolled, the shadows were being torn apart.
Wow.
Okay, next paragraph. Ojiro, half covered in the blood of his enemies and comrades alike, roared one last time and charged the samurai commander. His blade met steel mid-air and sparks flew as the 2 titans collided. But Ojiro was weary, his swing too wide, his breath too ragged. The commander stepped in, drove his katana up through Ojiro's ribs, and yanked it free with a sickening rip. Ojiro fell to his knees, coughing blood, clutching his guts as they spilled into his hands. Around him, the last of the shogun were butchered, one impaled on a yari and hoisted like a banner, another cleaved in 2 from collarbone to hip.
Damn.
Let me know when you're ready for the last paragraph. Ready? Here we are. As silence fell, the samurai stood amid the carnage like statues of war, steam rising from their blood-soaked armor. The battlefield was a canvas of ruin. Mangled corpses, severed limbs, The crushed remnants of desperate rebellion vultures began to circle, already diving upon the dead. The commander removed his helmet, revealing a face splattered with gore, but calm with discipline. He looked over the field, nodded once, and gave the order to burn what was left. Flames soon consumed the bodies of the fallen shogun, their legacy erased in fire and ash. The samurai had not just won, they had annihilated.
Wow.
Yes! Woo!
Wow.
Well, having said that, congratulations to the samurai.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
That was pretty intense. That was.
I like the gory side of it. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Whew. Okay, I also had some other ideas while we were doing this. I can take lines from these stories and put them onto the card game as the flavor text because it's really AI generated. It's like really combining the stories here.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, some really intense stuff. Oh, we got Luna as a winner. Reminder, that was a $250 prize pool that will be divided up amongst the samurai winners. So congratulations to you. Thank you for those who have been with us from the start here. Thanks for your patience. We have learned a lot, like we said, and we are excited to make season 2 even better, more engaging, give you a chance to control the outcome. And we've got some big things in the works. So, whew. Having said that, Miguel, what are our final words of wisdom here?
I am half drunk. Why would you ask me that question?
So I think what's important to remind everyone is that although season 1 is over, the next step on the journey for Rebel Ants is that we'll be migrating the Battle for the Colony over to Ape Chain.
Migrating to Ape Chain.
Migrating to Ape Chain, so stand by for that. This will allow season 2 to actually be better because we can reward in Ape Chain, so we don't need 2 different wallets when you're registering for battles. We can streamline the process a bit and again, hopefully bring you an even better and unique experience. What I see us doing, I don't see others doing. I know the Minotaurs have some battle system. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's to this effect. We are excited to continue to build. We appreciate your feedback and your collaboration as a community. Your words are sort of what drives us here. So stay in touch, and we look forward to streaming again soon. Next week.
End it right now.
Do you have anything you want to say?
I want to say that